couple weeks ago, I started something called the experiment. For those of you who are new to the channel, it starts with one simple question. Can I grow my business to $5,000 a month while working my demanding consulting career, staying healthy, maintaining my relationships, and enjoying my social life? Growing up, I always kind of heard that you have to make choices and sacrifices, and that if you want a successful business, you may have to sacrifice your family or your health or your free time. And I don't quite believe that. But instead of debating, I decided, let's test it. I'm an engineer, why not? Every 2 weeks, I am going to document exactly what I plan to do, what I actually did, what I learned from it, and just how overall my quality of life has been during the process. Let's continue to the dashboard. PropertyMOB dashboard, because that's the goal. Am I building my business? I had a goal of getting to $5,000 a month by the end of the year, so we're about 6 months away. Current revenue for July is $0. I am on sprint 1 of 13. I plan to have kind of 3 big inputs or 3 needle pushing activities every week. I got 2 out of the 6 done total for the 2 weeks, and I spent a lot less time than expected. My goal is to spend 10 hours a week growing the business. I spent 7.5 over 2 weeks, and my current question is, am I building for the right customer? And I'll break that down in a little bit. Okay, so here's my life dashboard. I'm gonna go into all of this, but just to give you a quick visual, my career, been balling, A and A. PropertyMOB, as you could tell from the dashboard before, it is a D for week 1, C for week 2. My health, A, man, I was getting all my workouts and hooping week 1. And then week 2, I was like, man, I really got to get some other stuff done. So they fell off a little bit, but overall still doing pretty good with dieting, health, and my fitness goals. And social life was 3-day weekend, always lit. And then energy, it was very low the first week. I don't even know if I could really give it a C, but I'm going to give it a C because I really wasn't tracking it too much. And then it did elevate week 2. The plan. Going into the first 2 weeks, my plan was fixing my offer, segmenting my list, starting an email campaign, being able to respond and have it update my CRM workflow. And then based on the segmentation that I did, launch an experienced outreach campaign as well, and then start doing an audit system. So those were kind of like my 6 priorities of what I wanted to do. What I got done, I completed 2 of them. I segmented my entire list. It took a little longer than expected. With 3 hours of work, I was only planning on 2, but the strategy of how do I really want to break this list down, ended up segmenting it in 3 ways. You're either a customer or lead, you're either experienced or a beginner, you're either engaged or disengaged. And that's what that campaign is going to tell me. If they are active within the past 3 months, they're engaged. If they have not been active, I put as disengaged, and as I do the campaign, they will update. Overall, this was a huge task, and though I'm upset that I only got 2 out of 6 inputs, I had 25,000 emails. And so to have done this manually without using a CRM or AI, it would have took me probably 8 to 18 hours. And so AI still increased production. So that's something to be excited about, and I got to keep reminding myself, because as I'm getting better using AI and systems, my time on things are getting better. The other thing I was able to do, which was kind of create the campaign, go into Instantly, create the campaign, taking it from go high level. And then now the only thing I have to do is upload all those emails that I have ready, have them cleaned, and then I can start sending tomorrow. Those are big wins. The strategy of the tagging took longer, and I will say that that was discouraging. But this is huge news, because next week I get to see how they're responding to this engagement campaign and just see how it works. What didn't get done, I did not finish changing my offer. I still may do that tonight. That's gonna be a big thing for next week. That's my beginning. I'll let my dog finish. Okay, so I did not finish rebuilding my landing page and my offer. Granted, I'm pretty quick at that, so I may get that done tonight. And I still need to kind of figure out how I'm going to outreach and do this audit. And I started asking myself a lot more questions for that. Obviously, I did not work on PropertyMOB as much as I had planned. I'm going to break down my planned week versus my reality so that you can get an idea of why it looks like this. Okay, 0.5 out of 20 hours. Obviously, that's not acceptable. I need to put more time into this business. And I actually took a look at my calendar, because I was upset with myself and frustrated that I didn't get what I needed to do done. And this is what I found out. So right now I'm going to show you the planned week versus reality. This ended up being one of the busiest stretches I've had at work in a long time. I've been having to get up to speed, jump between multiple things with my consulting career. The VP and the director of my company flew in personally to have a one-on-one meeting with me. We discussed the past 12 months, all my projects, how much value I'm adding to the company, my promotion, and where they see me headed, what growth looks like, what the next 6 to 12 months looks like. And so those are very good conversations to have. A lot of value. Also great to be able to be with my team, be with my company, because I'm off on these projects doing consulting. I am the only one usually from my company there. So that was awesome. But it also is a little energy draining because you're reflecting on value, compensation, negotiations, and what I want my future to look like. Those conversations and that time takes a lot of mental energy. I won't even call it draining, but it takes a lot of mental energy. And so because of that, to expect myself to have those long days, and also like sometimes I was having 10-hour days, getting home Friday at 6:30 at night. And so going from that to then expecting myself to be able to squeeze a couple hours of property mob time in before I walk my dog and then go play basketball, come back, eat dinner, and expect myself to kind of be able to switch gears from consulting right into my business mindset, right into health. I had the time technically, but my energy was just not there. When I actually compared my actual versus ideal week, I realized I didn't leave any room for error, any margin. Like I didn't even have dinner planned. I was assuming I'd be working and eating dinner at the same time. And so my schedule would have been great if everything was perfect, but life is not always perfect. And so it did not allot for work getting busy, my mom being in town. It just did not plan for enough error. Like even one priority test taking longer than expected, all of that threw my schedule way off. And so because of that, I decided to do these sprints in bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks, so that I have a little more margin, a little more room to finesse my energy with work, because at work I have to be a little more reactive. And so I don't always know what the plan is, how busy it's going to be. And so I needed to give myself a little more time. It was hard for me to do, but I think that is a much more realistic approach of you're still consistently working on the business. You're striving for 10 hours, week 1, week 2, but to give yourself a little more grace when life happens. One thing that happened in week 1 is I spent a lot of time working on using AI to video edit, using AI to set a schedule, compare, do my weekly reviews, have a life operator meeting where I can kind of see where I'm at, what needs to be done, and have that accountability partner. And so I spent so much time on this, probably like 8 to 12 hours in week 1, which is probably why I didn't have more energy for property mob task. And so I was asking myself, why is it that it's so much easier for me to spend time on the systems, AI, how to be more effective, efficient type task. And it was so much easier to spend 8 to 12 hours on that over spending 2 to 3 hours on property mob. At first, I was like, maybe it's because I have to do some more challenging tasks with property mob or things outside my comfort zone, or maybe it's discipline or laziness. I was pondering this a little bit on my drive home. But realistically, I don't think it's any of that. I had to be more honest with myself. Systems, processes, bottlenecks, all of that stuff energizes me. I get excited. It kind of gets to blend like my creative process and my problem solving skills with like systems and frameworks. I've always enjoyed that. That's why I wanted to be an engineer. And marketing to beginners, cold email campaigns, trying to teach someone how to do wholesaling for the first time is just not as energizing for me. And it sucks. It was like hard for me to admit it, but this whole time I've been forcing myself into the wrong role. And so now I just have to pivot and adjust accordingly. And the big shift is realizing I like my job. Every day in my consulting career, I'm not really teaching beginners. I'm driving impact, resolution, building systems, helping with communication, improving efficiencies or improving operations, helping companies bottom line, progressing the project forward. That is what companies pay me a lot of money to do. And so then it made me ask, why am I building this entire business around teaching beginners instead of helping experienced wholesalers build better businesses? And this question really hit me harder than I expected, because it's at first a lot of my leads are beginners. I want to help beginners. I want them to find the way. I just realized I personally, and I didn't realize this because like the mission of PropertyMOB is to just help people ball out, right? We're just here to help you become the best and baddest wholesalers you can be. Like, come on now. Badass real estate investors. It's like I felt bad, but I realized I'm over here having to deal with huge projects, multi-million, billion-dollar projects. And I'll get a text about, hey, I want to start wholesaling for the first time. And would you mind hopping on a phone call with me to like kind of talk me through this? And this may be a $30 course. I personally do not have time. And it sucks to say it, but I genuinely don't have time. It's not incentivizing me enough because every context which I do affects other decisions I have to make. And these other decisions have bigger consequences. And so I just had to be realistic with myself. If someone was asking me about a $10,000 problem, okay, I would shift gears, but having to kind of hold hands and walk people through and provide my individual time is just hard. I don't mind sending a quick text but it's like the hopping on the phone call has been tough. After thinking about that, I realized I'm not building something that's incentivizing enough for me. And so I need to really get aligned. And I know I bought this business and it has a certain structure, certain offers, but I need to figure out how I can maybe get help with some beginners where it's like the person just likes to talk about wholesaling. And then maybe I stay in my lane of helping six-figure wholesalers build better, more efficient, more profitable businesses, because that's what I do for a living for billion-dollar companies. I can help six-figure wholesalers, seven-figure wholesalers grow theirs. And so that's kind of my new thing and questions I've been asking. I'm very excited about helping people with systems and building more profitable systems. I've even been talking with my company, and so I'm going to be helping with that as well within the company. And it doesn't mean that I'm changing everything tomorrow, but it does mean that I need to start putting different offers out there to see if that's even something that people want, that's something that people would pay for. And so I do have to figure that out, which is why I don't have the exact 6 things that I'm going to be doing the next sprint, but I do know I need to finish my offer and a couple other things. So I will probably drop that in the description below of the next 6 things I'm going to get done, because I can edit that whenever and when I figure it out. But before I completely pivot, I do want to run these campaigns, get the data, not just assume, but like we have to start putting it out there and seeing how the market's receiving it. When I do the cold email campaign for beginners, are people responding to me like, no, dude, I've sold hella homes or whatever it is. And it's weird because you don't want to pivot too much. And I tend to do that. So I wonder if it is a weakness right now. I don't know. And that is very hard. I know I got to keep moving forward and I have to find a way to incentivize me. And so we will see. I am going to be launching this beginner campaign, see how it's received, see if there's ways for me to help one-to-many, but on an individual time or individual Zoom meeting, I will be only working with experienced investors and wholesalers. And so from there, and I want to be able to understand their bottlenecks. What's holding them back? What are they struggling with? What are they willing to pay for? How can I add value to them? What would they pay for me to solve? Because I spent a lot of time being like, well, this is what's given to me, so this is what I need to do. And now I'm like, well, how can I find a way to keep helping beginners while also doing something that lights me up, which is helping 6-figure wholesalers go to 7 figures. And so that is kind of the new pivot for Sprint 1. I'm excited for Sprint 2. Maybe the market tells me I'm wrong. Maybe it confirms what I've been scared to do all along. Who knows, but I will know more in Sprint number 2. Which is what this experiment is all about. Yes, building a business to 5,000, but also it is about figuring out how to build something meaningful while not sacrificing what matters most to me. Some sprints are going to be wins. Some feels like setbacks. This one definitely feels more like a setback or maybe a slow start. But if you're trying to build something while working your career and having a social life and family and other responsibilities, and whatever the heck else life throws at you, I hope that you follow along because I'm figuring this out real time and documenting everything as I go. As always, I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. Go live life intentionally.